I am a US citizen and I'm also a Kenyan citizen, and I've lived here in Kenya now for 3 years, and I've observed some interesting things in that time. Now, before I get into this, I'll just say that I know there's so many layers to this, there's a lot of nuance, and I am not generalizing, I'm just speaking from my observations. So one thing I've noticed is that a lot of Kenyans are in a hurry to leave Kenya and to go somewhere outside, like the US or UK or somewhere else, because they believe that it will bring a lot of opportunity and give them a chance to build wealth. And again, nothing wrong with that. That could be very true for many people. Everyone has their own path. Again, this is just an observation because I've had a lot of conversations with Kenyans, whether through messaging or even people that just talking face to face. They want to know how they can go to the US because that's where the wealth is. Which leads me to my second observation, which is that a lot of Kenyans don't understand how wealthy they are. Kenyans own land, they own property. Many Kenyans own land and own property, and they build on that land and they pass down that land and they own that land free and clear. It's not on loan, it's not on mortgage, there's no debt, they've built their house debt-free. And in the US, that is just not the case. I decided to do a little bit of researching on this because I wanted to see if my observations were actually backed up with facts. As one does, I started having a conversation with ChatGPT, and I wrote down this particular part because I wanted to read it word for word. I'll probably put the screenshot here too. So with the home ownership rates in Kenya, 61% of people overall own their homes, with 86% of those being in rural areas, and that's mostly debt-free. And then in the US, 65% overall, but most homes are mortgaged, meaning people are still paying for them and don't own them outright. And this part says, while income levels and infrastructure in the US are more developed, Kenyans, especially in rural areas, often have more stable asset-based wealth, which is harder to quantify but extremely valuable. Now, again, I know there's a lot of layers to this, and a lot of it just is going to come down to my personal experience. And I know that doesn't speak for everyone, but I've hustled in the US and I've hustled in Kenya. And let me tell you that I feel like it's so much easier to build actual wealth in Kenya. I feel like we're actually getting somewhere here. I feel like we're actually building something here, and it's not just like constant, rat race, wheel turning, but getting nowhere. Out here, it feels very solid. And out here, our home that we live in right now in the village, we don't owe anyone. We don't owe anything. We built this brick by brick, and it's ours, and it's in our name, and it's not on loan. And everything else that we're doing as far as business goes, it just feels solid. It's so rock solid out here. And I'm not saying it's perfect here in Kenya. I'm not trying to diss the US. I love the US. There's so many different kinds of opportunities out there as well. But I don't think that I can look you in the eye and say that the US is a better place to build wealth for the average person.